Isaac Butterfield. Isaac Butterfield is a comedian and a women's rights activist. Does he have. Well, he's got looks. He's not disproportionate. He's got nice muscles. If I was to guess, I'd say he's probably the kind of guy that a lot of women go for, and that's only because, well, I pay attention to my surroundings. Now, there's a reason that I cried the way that I did. I want you to see his face. Hers isn't really worthy. That's not what she's selling. She's selling booty and slander. And she likes to use keywords. Like she says that, well, of course, the body shaming. She makes fun of his flaccid penis, insinuating that he does. The statements that he makes about her are true. They're true statements. The things that he says are true. But she doesn't care about truth. She doesn't have to tell the truth. She's a woman. She's a female, and she's a pretty blonde female who's young and likes to accentuate her, well, I should say assets, but there's no ets on the end of it. So she's got this OnlyFans thing. This is a popular trend among female predators. That's right, female predators. See, the stuff that the KKK used to be able to get up on a podium and spout out all that stuff all day long. They're not allowed to anymore, but women are allowed. Women are certainly allowed. It doesn't have to be true. It used to be that the KKK, being a political party, they'd go up and, even in World War II, talk about how black pilots should not be allowed to fly. Everybody knows that black people are insert racist bullshit in the blank after that. So this lady calls herself vegan booty, and literally all she does is insult people and slander people and spout ignorant shit. And this is how we are expected to communicate with unreasonable people. We have taught women on this planet that they don't have to be reasonable, how to beat around the bush and play fucking stupid, how to use keywords like attacking me. Bitch, I'm 1,000 miles away. Telling the truth about you isn't attacking you. You attacked your own character when you did that. This OnlyFans thing. So she has a bunch of pictures that if you pay money, because you like the way that she looks, she's literally selling her body. That is what she is selling. The image of sex. She's specifically using her body to make money. And, well, is that a shameful fashion? Is it? Well, this is somebody who is trying to accuse a man of supporting rapists. And listening to Isaac Butterfield, I can tell you, he does not support rape. Now, he does get sarcastic. And a lot of people want to pretend that his sarcasm means that he's going to do something. How many women like vegan booty? Listen to the name, vegan booty. So then she wants to accuse him of supporting rape and saying, well, he's got a anti-vegan shirt. It means he's not vegan. And she was trying to say that would be like having an anti-black shirt or an anti-women shirt. No. It means he's not vegan. He is against being veganism, or he is against veganism and against being a vegan himself. And anybody who is supportive of that, cool, to each their own. That doesn't mean that he is supporting rape. That is a far cry from saying that he is supporting rape. Claiming that Isaac Butterfield can't get it up, that he's got a flaccid penis because he eats babies. I mean, literally, all you're doing is slandering his name. That's all you're doing. And you're trying to say it in what every woman in the country, I'm willing to bet, same in Australia, if you say it with a straight face, oh, he supports rape. He supports rape. You should go tear his channel down because he supports rape. He eats babies and has a flaccid penis because of it. He supports rape. He tells people to go rape people. This is what she says. I've been listening to that Isaac Butterfield, and no, he doesn't. What this is blatant sexism. And of course, how many of these women that you see go to the gyms, the last 3 have an OnlyFans account where they literally sell sex, the idea of sex, or images of actual sexual acts. That woman who wanted to go to the gym and Farrell, she has naked pictures of herself that she put on the internet. She wants $800 a month for. At least this lady, Vegan Booty, only wants $15 a month to do that. But then again, Vegan Booty is not trying to pretend like she's not presenting the image of being an outright slut. She's priding herself on it. She is using her looks to try to sway people to do harmful things to others. That's literally what she's doing. Hey, if you want to look at naked pictures of me, then I can have the money as a woman to slander a man's name and it stays up. But also, because I, as a woman, have slandered this man's name and am calling him a rape supporter, you are expected to go try to destroy his channel and pretend that he is promoting rape. He's a sarcastic motherfucker, though I like him. Makes a lot of good points, too. There's stuff that he says that I don't agree with. But I'm an American. I believe in the First Amendment. He's Australian, but I'll still let him speak. So there's the key words, like, he's attacking me. Really? You're going to play like that? You are a fucking stupid piece of shit. And a fucking horrible excuse for a human being for trying to play that gender-biased BS. For trying to use sex and the image of sex to convince people to do things that are immoral and illegal. That's right. Prostitution. That is exactly what it is. You are enticing men for money, and women, because we all know that there are lesbians in the world. I know lesbians who watch lesbian porn just because they're bored. And that's not to say all lesbians watch porn either, but I know that somebody like Miss Booty is going to try to twist my words into something they ain't and try to get all sorts of other people to come down on my site and destroy a bunch of evidence. And that's the problem, is that these feminist groups and these women who have been taught to play on these gender bias are very dangerous and very harmful people. And they get innocent people killed. With me, I'm trying to turn in child molesters and rapists and people who take advantage of the elderly and the disabled. But I drop whatever I'm doing if there's child abuse. I speak out about rapists. I just posted a whole bunch of sex offenders. 10 different sex offenders that I personally know. I've got their words and the words of their victims. That's what I do. Well, this woman, her idea of, well, I don't know what her idea is. She's nuttier than squirrel turds, and if she did that stuff in the United States, she'd be in prison. Prison. I'm not talking about the slander. I'm talking about her other antics. They're going to eventually get sick of locking you up for being a piece of shit, and that is what she's doing. She's being a piece of shit. Oh, you don't want people to eat animals? I don't want people to rape people. I don't want you to support rape. And, of course, what she's doing by making false accusations is supporting rape. She is taking away from every person who has ever actually been raped. When she does that, she is trying to deprive that man of his emotions and his expressions. Yet she should be allowed. When he says something evil and cruel, it's obvious that it's satire. But of course, she goes straight for the jugular, accusing him of supporting pedophiles and rapists. And you know what? I go for the jugular too, but I make sure it's true. When I went to people to try to get help over actual abuse, I had to deal with hell because people were hurting me over someone pretending that they were being abused because there was an embarrassed female who didn't get what she wanted right when she wanted it. Now, this lady trying to get people and entice people to do immoral things to Mr. Butterfield, I don't agree with everything he has to say either, but I'm not trying to destroy his words or his evidence. I know what typecasting is. It's not just Hollywood. When you have no verbal inflection or you have no context, you can take a sentence completely out of its meaning and pretend like you've been threatened. And we've seen that. Women are allowed to do this. And you will support them doing this because if you don't, you already know that you'll have to deal with the wrath of women. Wrath of hate sites, wrath of groups of women who don't care about victims. They just want to hate men and bash men and destroy the lives of all men because they didn't get what they wanted right when they wanted it. You wanted help, but you didn't get help. You didn't get it because you were the fat girl that nobody would listen to. So, of course, you had to go through the same thing that us boys have to go through when we're abused. You got a choice between staying with the predator who is abusing you or getting locked up. How do we get treated as males? Well, we had a choice. We chose to get locked up rather than stay there and get raped or beaten by our dads. And when you choose to get locked up rather than get raped or beaten by your dads, so that you can still see your friends and your family and hopefully not get all stuck on their government medications because you're mentally ill now. Mentally ill people have to take medications. At least you have a fighting chance. You might even be allowed to tell on your dad for raping you. What about us? What about us? What about when you tell on your dad for beating on you? How about the fact that your mom is more likely to beat on you and you fucking know it? You know that when you cut on yourself, it's not because your daddy raped you. Sure, he raped you, but you tried to get help stopping it. It was your trusted adult who made you suicidal, not your original abuser. It was when your trusted adult neglected you that you started cutting on yourself. But for us men, when you make false accusations like that, our predators get away. Nobody listens to us. And it ultimately results in many of us committing seppuku, suicide. You've destroyed our name, you've tarnished our reputation, and you've made us a target for the rest of our lives. Because you think it's okay to do this. You've been taught that it's okay to do this. You do it shamelessly. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these things out of this lady. She's in the news often, but she gets right back out. She's allowed. People support her. She has money. All she has to do to make that money is show a little bit of skin. Much like the lady who had her big TikTok thing when she wanted to complain about feral. She posted that up on the internet trying to get, what? Attention. She learned that will get her attention. She doesn't stop for a moment to think that playing victim like that to get attention can destroy a man's life or get him killed. It results in people making his life hell to the point that he may actually commit suicide while you're just going to pretend. You're not really suicidal, you just want attention. I get that you want attention because of abuse, but boys actually do kill themselves because you're so busy trying to get attention. When we're harmed, you start telling us your story. Your story's more important. How you had to just get over it from 20 years ago. Shit, your dad's still in prison from fucking you. What happened to my predators? They got paid. They got paid for doing what they did to me. Ted Bollinger got paid through those GoFundMes and all these poor you sites for all the abuse he put his daughter through. For every time he fucked his daughter, $20,000 worth of free money from GoFundMes that man spent going on vacations after his daughter died. Getting strung out on fucking drugs still. Getting busted with those drugs and guns. When it comes down to it, I'm not on Isaac Butterfield's side or Vegan Booty's side. I'm on the victim's side. No matter what gender, no matter what color, no matter what age. Everyone should have the right to be heard. Nobody should be denied the right to turn in their predators, denied the right or access to do that. Threatened, harassed, and intimidated, talked down to, talk over, just because it's a disabled homeless male, and you tell us how we owe it to you. Who is the most likely person to rape you? Your dad. Who's the most likely to beat you? Your mom. The majority of the girls who have spoken with me and offered to help have explained that it was because of the cutters. It's because they're cutters, and they get that I understand. Now, sometimes it's a boy that you had a crush on that wouldn't have you. But it's usually because daddy couldn't keep his nasty cock beaters to himself. Sometimes it's your uncle, sometimes it's your grandpa, sometimes it's mom's new boyfriend. Roseanne Kelly is Natalie Bollinger's mother. She's also one of Natalie Bollinger's predators and one of mine. All she had to do, just like what Natalie did, I tried to do it the right way, the adult way, the just way. I tried going to my predators and explaining what was going on nicely so that they understood. But no, women aren't expected to understand men or try to understand men or listen to men in any way, shape, or form. Once you've decided that you're angry, he deserves whatever punishment that you unleashed on him by lying. And that is how Natalie Bollinger stayed through all of it. Tried telling me I chose it. I chose to be dehydrated. I chose for her to pressure me to go to Virginia by the I will kill myself if you're not already on the road thing. The I won't get on the airplane unless you promise to come to Virginia. Before that, it was I'm not getting on the airplane unless you come and see me before I go. And I tried. Before that, it was Sean, we're going to drive to see you on the way there. Before that, it was Sean, you're the only reason I'm staying here. You're the only reason I'm still in Colorado. So when I needed to heal up and I left, I wasn't trying to abandon her. Jamie Curtis used to do that, trying to play for sympathy. Oh, Sean, you abandoned me. No, I fucking didn't. You went out of your way to play me for a fool and every other guy in your life and tell them all the same things you were telling me. Oh, Sean, you're different. You're not like the other guys. Oh, I wish I could get them to go away. They just want my vagina. They don't care about me. They just want my vagina. But what did she do? She kept them around because they were all giving her free shit. Because she was leading them on to believe that they were different. The difference between me and those guys is I didn't care about her vagina. All she's got to do to get those guys to not talk to each other is give the impression that she needs all of them and not to start any troubles. And that you're the one guy who's different. And she picks the saddest of the sad, the loneliest of the lonely. I mean, Otska, super skinny, not looking feller ever. And then we got Hayden McCall. He's pretty much a much bigger feller, going bald on top, glasses. There's me. I got Tourette syndrome, so I'm all winky blinky, but I was different because I think sex is gross. But because I have a penis, women who get horny and type about how they just need to get their guts smashed, that's so nasty. Pretending like because I have a penis, I must be a rapist. I must be a pedophile. And that's how all of this bullshit gets started. As a woman who can't take no for an answer and thinks it's okay to slander your name to your friends and family. That's right. The people they slandered my name to were my friends too. Maddie Bowe was my friend. They lied to her and misled the situation. I wasn't arrested. I was taken into the fucking hospital because I was dehydrated. The messages between Natalie and I showed that she was aware that I was fucking dehydrated. She knew on my birthday. That was 5 days before I ended up in the hospital. It was also the last time that I saw Natalie Marie Bollinger. October 18th, 2016. At Elliot's Coffee Grounds. She told me she was sorry. Her and her sister were fighting over a boy. You guys don't require any evidence. And you allow women like this vegan booty, to get away with actual slander that gets men killed. And that's what she's doing. She knows that that could get him killed, but she doesn't care. But she's been taught not to care. She's allowed to get what she wants by whatever means she chooses, including prostitution if she so chooses. If she's a prostitute, it's men's fault for paying for the sex, not her fault. She's an innocent victim for exploiting those men somehow. Exploiting desperate men, just like Jamie exploited people like Otska and Hayden McCall. You know what finally broke it for Hayden McCall? Jamie realized that sex wasn't the thing that was working, that she had to use her son to try to manipulate me, just like Leslie Snell, just like many of these parents. Oh, well, I have children. That doesn't make it okay to commit felonies. It doesn't make it okay to beat your kids. It doesn't make it okay to get all strung out in drugs or to abuse an at-risk adult or to mislead somebody that you know can't take care of themselves so that they expend their resources and have none to take care of themselves or protect themselves. When you pretend to be their friend, but all you want to do is tell them how to think and how to feel at all of your problems. Why are we expected to listen to all of the stuff that you've gone through and pretend like that's helping us? How is listening to you complain about your problems for 4 hours helping me? How is you telling me for 4 hours that you don't have time and then telling me about your entire life, interrupting what I'm saying, making suggestions that show that when you did listen, you didn't hear what I said? And then when you make those suggestions, it shows that the evidence I sent you, like my hospital paperwork, you didn't bother to read. That the suggestions that you make show that you didn't care about the mandated reporter stuff to get any sort of an education in that. What it shows is that you don't care to do anything except tell me how to think and how to feel without bothering to find out what's going on. Just letting other people do the work for you. The problem is the people who are doing the work are the people who hate me, who are invested in trying to hide the fact that they're pedophiles and rapists and child abusers and didn't want everyone to know. Well, the world needs to know. Andrew Witcher likes methamphetamines. He also thinks that it's okay for him to touch his own daughter. Michael Allen Albert, same thing. See, here's the thing. Are either of these two exposing actual predators? No. No, that's the most fucked up part about both of them. And that's why I'm on neither of their sides. Yes, he is exposing predators and exposing what she's doing and how wrong it is. And I am so grateful for that because we need a lot more of that. Chloe Roma's doing the same thing. But also, Chloe Roma has an OnlyFans. Chloe Roma has more fans than this guy does. She's more likely to be heard. Again, because she's a woman, she's more likely to be heard, which Mr. Butterfield and Chloe Roma have both been expressing quite often. Am I as disgusted by Chloe Roma selling images of her body in sexually suggestive ways to try to make money to do what she does? Actually, yes, I'm against the fact that that is the way to do it. She shouldn't have to do that. Feminist groups, these are not equality groups, these are hate groups that don't want men to be heard. These groups are horrible to us. Me Too is one of the worst. When a man is victimized, we get told all this, oh, well, here's my story, and here's how horrible men are. Men. False accusers are the most disgusting people on the planet. My personal opinion, and I've been voicing this since before Natalie was dead, falsely accusing a man of that should mean that you spend that amount of time in prison. If a man would be convicted and sentenced to 30 years for rape based on your lies, and you get busted lying, like, oh, I was raped on Christmas and it was in Colorado, and the dude was in fucking Memphis, Tennessee on Christmas, stuck in a fucking airport. There's video cameras at the airport. It doesn't matter to me that it's in fucking Memphis, Tennessee, or Nashville, Tennessee, or fucking Bogota, Colombia. It is actual evidence. Why do you make it impossible for a man to get that evidence? Why is it so easy? Officers will hand over stuff that we're told we need an act of God for. They'll just hand over stuff from all over the nation and allow a woman to pull out the parts that she wants to slander your name. And for you, you're told you need an act of God, or you'll get several officers who are going to stand there like this while you talk to them. Like, ain't you going to write nothing down? Men are treated completely with disrespect, and women are allowed to make false accusations that literally get us killed. And also to entice man-haters. This is the equivalent of the KKK, okay? These are man-hater groups. Enticing these man-hater groups to try to destroy evidence that women were the aggressors, women were the abusers, that a man is speaking out. And then you get to see how police, because they don't care, when it results in somebody becoming dead, all of a sudden they do care. They care enough to try to hide evidence, to try to drag it out so they can destroy evidence. After 1 year, they get to destroy their body cameras. You fucking stupid shits. Why were the body cameras never brought forward in my cases? Because the people who were involved didn't come forward with me to the police. Anything that they claimed that they said to the police or wrote down, did they have a photocopy of it? No, we just have to believe that the cops did their jobs, or hope that they did their jobs. When it comes to abuse against at-risk adults, there are very clear laws that show that these are felonious acts being committed. However, you don't care because I'm a man. Being a man trumps disabilities. Being a man, if you've got a fucked up back, being a man means it goes away. If you've got PTSD, well, you are a man, so you just need to man up, and it magically goes away. If a woman is accusing you of being a rapist or supporting rape, then all of a sudden it must be true. And just so you know, 90% of false reports, 90% of them come from women. 90%. He's attacking me. He told you off. He told you what a sexist, horrible person you were being, what a horrible friend you are, what a superficial, two-faced person you were being, because you are. And then you want to make false accusations of rape, like Maddie Boa. Did Natalie Bollinger ever accuse me of rape? No. Did she ever accuse me of molesting her? No. Did Alicia Bollinger ever accuse me of rape? No. Did Alicia Bollinger ever accuse me of molesting her? No. But that's what all this was over. Maddie Boa Obviously, she had planned the trip to Virginia with me. The only reason she didn't go is because she was busted selling meth. She got put on probation, and her probation officer told her he didn't think it was a good idea. Now then, look at the situations that I was in. Jamie Curtis needed help because poor her, she needed a hero. She needed her and her son to be in a safe place. A lot of men came together. They threw their blood, sweat, and tears into that. 7 men there helping her move. 7 of them. 2 of them drove all the way there from Nebraska to help her. Myself and Todd Rust. But of course, her wanting to play victim and play like she's afraid so that she can get free shit out of me while she was dating him. She was dating James Payton. Again, while still pretending she was afraid of him and she was going to call me once a week to make sure that she was safe and her son was safe. And then she went back and dated him again, and she was trying to keep that a secret. No wonder Todd Rust never came forward. No wonder he never tried, the sexist pig. But then again, he also plays Christian, and we know his Jesus is fake. His Jesus, his version. I've got everybody in his family talking about that. Recorded. Nicole Knudsen on my channel, on this very channel. Dallas Richmond on this very channel. Zach Richmond on this very channel. You know, I have to take it back because I don't have any words from Dakota. Natalie Bollinger accused me of stalking her because I told the truth about her and about her dad and about the abuse over slander. I told the truth about why I was being harmed, what slander it was, where it came from, and who was involved. I tried to keep people's names safe because they promised they were going to come forward. When they showed they were never going to come forward, their names, you didn't keep your word. You wasted my time. Your names are up now. I don't give a shit about your petty squabbles. Hey, Vegan Booty, you think you could speak up about how we were treated instead of making false accusations and making things worse for actual rape victims? You know, one of the scariest things for me was William Barr, a witness to many of these situations, didn't come forward, but he wanted to tell me I just need to give it to God. Did he give it to God? When I spoke up and told him I was going to speak to him next time through a lawyer? No, he pretended I threatened to kill him and his family. Wanted to claim in specific that I would harm Jessica Martindale's son, Jack. Not a chance in fucking hell. Tried to insinuate that I would hurt Jessica Martindale. Not a chance in hell. You know the hell that I went through to get to Jessica Martindale's graduation? When I got there, she was too busy getting drunk out at a party. But I did keep my word to go for her graduation. I just didn't make it there in time. I missed it by about 5 minutes. I got robbed at gunpoint at a truck stop outside of Denver and had to walk a good portion of the way. I started off the trip 3 days early. I did get a ride right before I got to a penitentiary. A guy felt bad for me. He said, well, you know what? In just a few miles is a penitentiary, and we're not allowed to pick you up anywhere near there. So I'm going to give you a ride so you don't get in trouble. And I was thankful for that. I've been from one end of the country finding missing people since 2012 when my little sister, Tara Lee Lawton, disappeared. Her maiden name's Tara Lee Hicks. I get that she's a drug addict. She didn't used to be. And I'm hoping she's sober by now. But on my YouTube is messages from my sister and conversations with my sister about child molesters that we both know. And about her fears. And about the harm. And about the witnesses. And who said what to who. And why is it that when she knows, then why is it that she's harming me and treating me like I'm a bad person because these nasty ass web sleuths, people just like Vegan Booty, want to do harmful things to my friends and family instead of looking at the evidence and helping to put the actual predators away. I shouldn't have to expose people on YouTube and Facebook, but at least I told the truth and showed the truth. Because of my communication disabilities, when I am extremely scared, frightened, intimidated, people know they can do this to me, and they do. And that's the problem with post-traumatic stress disorder in men. You just pretend that it's hateful male aggression. Hateful male aggression? You mean like when a man decides that he's done with you and he leaves and you run around all his friends and family telling them that he's on drugs, that he likes little boys, that he wears girls' underwear, that he's a homosexual? And you don't stop. Well, you're going, oh, LGBT, you're posting up this LGBT pride stuff, how you support LGBT pride. And when this guy leaves you, the first thing you do is try to use homosexuality in a derogatory term because he doesn't want you anymore. Or you want to body shame him and claim that he has a flaccid penis that doesn't work because he's done with you and your drama and your bullshit and your expectations. And if he doesn't give you what you want right when you want, you're going to slander him some more. No. How many of these female web sleuths that got a hold of me because she heard the Natalie Bollinger story on one of these web sleuth things? And how many of them showed that they were actually going to help, how they would help a woman? I don't mean the first part of helping a woman where you gaslight the fuck out of a man by slandering the shit out of his name and trying to insinuate that he's some sort of a monster, that he might do these things. Maddie Bowe wanted to claim that I did horrible things, that I actually did these horrible things to Natalie and Alicia Bollinger. Things that people actually did to Natalie and Alicia Bollinger, according to Natalie and Alicia Bollinger's own words. You also get to see how Natalie Bollinger, on that last public post, after she slandered the shit out of me in that, at least in the comment section before she got her brains blown out, at least she was kind enough when people were wanting to ask if we had a sexual relationship. She typed, ew, no. Of course, our messages before it, while I was in Virginia and prior, showed she thought she was in love with me. She was infatuated with me. But you don't want to hear that. If I post that up, you're just going to try to get it taken down. You don't care about putting away the predators. What you care about is selling a false narrative because it makes you feel good to get that attention. You're sick fucks. Help find the missing people. Help stop the human trafficking. Talk to the homeless people. Talk to the druggies. They know more than you will ever understand, but you have to trust them and show them that trust. You also have to understand you can't be stupid and put yourself in a vulnerable position where you're going to get taken from, which is completely different from us being stuck in that vulnerable position and having to trust those people because none of you care. You just assume I'm a druggie and I'm not worth listening to. That if I glance up while you're gawking at me and I make eye contact for half a second, that somehow I'm rapey, that I'm projecting rape, that I'm intimidating you. Stop fucking gawking at me, you sick fuck. Just because you're a woman, you can stare at me for 5 minutes with a nasty scowl on your face because I'm not pretty. But if I glance up for one moment, oh my God, he's a sexual predator trying to undress me with his eyes. He looked at me like a whore. I was afraid he was going to do something. Oh my God, Farrell, Farrell, Farrell. And that Farrell lady again, another fans only thing, or OnlyFans thing, where she dresses up in a Playboy bunny outfit just for the cover of it, and you can spend $800 a month to subscribe to it. Meanwhile, she's afraid of men, and men are this, and men are that, and men are homosexual, they're perverts. And meanwhile, she's making her money by literally selling masturbation pictures for $800 a month. At least Vegan Booty is a little bit more realistic. And realistically speaking, because looks do matter, and whether or not you listen to somebody, people are more likely to listen to Vegan Booty because she does have a good body. She's got a good face. She's blonde hair. She has a fine figure. How many different ways do we hear this and see this, and not just social media, but in real life? The opinions that people type on social media. Yeah, people will hurt you over in real life if they can get their fucking hands on you. With people telling my sister in person, in real life, traveling to Nebraska from Colorado to tell my little sister that she needs to walk away, or my little sister and my niece Destiny are going to be fucking killed. You're out of your fucking minds. Meanwhile, actual rape victims, let's take Teresa Massilia, for example. No, let's take Christine Kelly. Who's Christine Kelly? She's another rape victim in Boulder, Colorado. Christine Kelly had a GoFundMe. She was going to get a PhD, try to become you know what a pediatrician is, right? A child's doctor. Well, she was raped. And when she was raped, she went to the police. But because she didn't fight off her attacker the way that Teresa Massilia did, because she was afraid of the same outcome as Teresa Massilia. Teresa Massilia fought off her attacker, and she was charged with assault. There were no charges ever brought against her assailant. With Christine Kelly, when she was raped and she didn't fight off her attacker, they charged her with false reporting because she didn't try to fight off her attacker. Men aren't allowed to report. We're talked over. We're not allowed a safe place to do it, and people are allowed to victimize us, including man-hater groups and disgusting, sick, revolting people who want to sell sex in the image of sex and then claim that men are perverts for being sexual. Meanwhile, you're selling sex. That's what you're selling. You're selling the impression and the image of sexually seductive. And you're also trying to use that image of showing your body to try to convince people. And of course, it has been shown that once sex starts seeping in, the idea of sex, you're not thinking too straight. That goes for both men and women. That's why you need good-looking spokespersons for you. How horrible is that? Heartthrobs that the other gender really, really, really likes. Like Johnny Depp could never possibly be a predator. That's Johnny Depp. Men commit suicide at 5 times the rate of women, specifically because of women like Vegan Booty. You're going out of your way to advertise sex, literally advertising the image of sex to make money. You're exploiting desperate men. The guys who are paying for your Only account, that's not the good-looking guy that you might consider dating. That's not the 6'4" chiseled man with a good face, good figure, nice muscles, good job, good house. And of course, because you have to feel that it's a challenge, the good wife that you can try to push out of his household and take over. It's already ready made. Look how easily the money flows into those women for doing that. How many people are willing to help them just because they're selling the image of, well, going out of their way to accentuate their body parts, to try to entice people not only to give them money, but to sway them to do things that are harmful to others. To at least pretend things to be true because, oh wow, look at those. Look at the rack on that one, and so on and so forth. How many of us have heard these things our entire lives? My dad says some of the grossest ones. It's just as gross as a woman saying she wants to get her guts smashed. My dad says, well, would you look at the shitter on that critter? Oh, Jesus, Dad. We also get to see that it's not until we are cursing that anybody takes us males seriously when we're abused. How difficult it is to even safely make a report without being blown off. You have a token mentally ill friend, right? You've got that token black friend whose name is always Tyrone. You've got that token Jewish friend, right? Don't you? You've got that token person with Tourette syndrome whose name is always magically Twitch, isn't it? Unless I say, let me guess, it's Twitch. No, it's Tyrone. Hey, he's my black friend. Okay. Now we're fucking getting somewhere. Yes, I lied and I admitted to lying. There were very, very rare occasions where things were so desperate and people's lives were so much at stake that I literally got live publicly on my YouTube or my Facebook and threatened to do the things back to my predators that they were threatening to do to me or actually doing to me. And I admitted to that. That was the only thing that I could do for you guys to stop pretending that it's not wrong to do those things to me. Really? It's not wrong? The rules aren't different? We're all following the same rules? Watch, if I do this, it's different. You're not going to blow me off for 6 months and then pretend like if I do something like that, people doing something immediately. Like, we're not being treated differently? Yes, we are. When you went to people and wanted to use choice words like attack, and you wanted to hide behind your children and pretend that you're afraid for your children because you didn't want to get in trouble for what you did, what you're doing is you're showing exactly why it is that predators get away, actual predators get away, and why the homeless and disabled and men, innocent men, end up taking all of the blame, all of the punishment. Who raped Natalie Bollinger? Ted Bollinger. Tim Beeson. These men raped her. Troy Bollinger raped her. But you guys want to take it out on a disabled man who can't take care of himself. And you want to force him to jump through a bunch of expensive hoops and talk about how you can't help because you're broke after you tell him to jump through all that. You're not too broke to make a fucking phone call. You're not too broke to keep your word. You're not too broke that when you say that you're going to check in with somebody, that you actually do so. You're not too broke that when something doesn't happen the way that you say that you're going to do it. You're not too broke that when people are throwing it in that person's face, that you offered that help. You're not too broke that you can't admit that you didn't follow through and that it was because of your reasons, because of your grandma dying, because you have your funerals to go to, that you didn't come forward. You killed my friends, and no, I'm not okay with that. It's too late to go into the library. I am gonna walk over to the Safeway because I'm in a lot of pain and I need to make sure that I keep my limbs limber. If I don't use them enough, then they will seize up on me and it makes it even more difficult to walk. You want to tell me, oh, well, you could save gas by walking there like you used to. Well, when I used to, that's part of what tore my body down. Well, this reminds me of an Eve Six song. I got Tourette syndrome, and for most of you, you only know the Hollywood version, where people curse. But really, you assign the real life version to your Hollywood bad guys. They got a weird wink or a funny stutter, or they do this with their wrist. Use the excuse of mentally ill to destroy men. Oh, he's mentally ill. And you know what? I speak about both sides of that. About how male predators, especially your stepfather, set you up for every man for the rest of your life to know that he can harm you whenever he wants because of that title of mentally ill. Just like Sarah Nelson of Lincoln Correction Center chose a career path that would allow her to be predatory. Same thing with Michelle Decini. These men are doing the same things to you. But the thing is that you can't blame that all on the men because you're blaming men who have options. They can throw you away at will. That was one of the things with Natalie Bollinger. She could throw people away at will because she had 10 other people lined up. For me, I didn't ever have an actual real friend. I had friends that would do things if I begged them or if I paid them. But for the most part, even if paid, they wouldn't do those things. Even if I paid them to look at evidence, they wouldn't. They'd talk over me. Even if I paid them to teach me how to do this internet stuff, they wouldn't. Even if I paid them a lot of time and a lot of money for help, they would spend that time and that money on what they wanted instead of helping me. That is taking advantage of an at-risk adult. But it doesn't matter because I get angry, right? You get to see how many women got angry at me and threatened to kill me and threatened to kill my family too. Threatened horrible harm against me. You get to see how other victims as well, like Rebecca Gross-Nickel-Foley, because she's a woman. She can literally threaten to kill people and their children and feed them to their dogs, and she did. I've got screenshots of it. It's fucked. I understand why she did it, but you notice I don't do those things. I speak about how wrong those things are, and people pretend that I would. And that just magically makes it all okay. Now here in Tillamook, it's kind of like Chapel, Nebraska. It's a KKK stronghold. You know how I feel about the KKK? I am too Jewish to fit in with them some bitches. When you blame me for everything because I'm white, and then you tell me about being in the KKK, like, I'm not in the KKK, they don't take Jews. Stupid. Sorry?
Excuse us.
Oh, you're good. Anyway, like I said, Me Too movement can kiss my backside. No victim left behind, regardless of color, regardless of gender, regardless of age. How do we end these videos? Good to be with you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's keeper too. And no victim left behind.